The views expressed in this presentation are those of the hosts and guests and do not represent the views of any lodge, Grand Lodge, appended body, or any other person or persons whomsoever.
Brothers, we are at Refreshment.
I'll sit in the corner and look cool and be like, what up? That's me.
I don't want to talk about you either, Marty, but here we are.
Just because my style isn't death.
I truly regret this already.
I regret this.
A 10 of year faithful crest.
Oh man, it is great. I can feel this.
That's assuming anybody even watches the podcast.
Yeah.
5 minutes that I watched, I really did enjoy it.
Welcome to the At Refreshment Masonic Video Podcast. I'm your host, Wes Reuter, Worshipful Master of Raven Lodge number 303. Well, we got some interesting things to talk about, but first, we got some people for you to meet. Over to my right, we have...
I'm Tyler Padon, Raven Lodge number 303, Senior Deacon.
To my left.
Yoshi, Villa Park Lodge, number 1113, and a slew of other things.
And my far left next to Yoshi.
I'm Mark. I'm an Illinois Freemason. You know, a bunch of other things.
Way to fill those Marty shoes.
Well, you know, because...
Yeah, that was such a Marty like move right there. That's great.
It's the chair.
It is a chair. It's like the aura of the seats.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking, yes. Well,
All about auras.
As you can see, Tyler and Mark are sitting in for Marty, who is still out, and
Marty
Brock,
Strong.
who is
Marty Strong.
Marty Strong.
Marty Strong.
I stand with Marty.
We love you, Marty.
And Brock is out dealing with some good family things, and we have permission to tell you what's going on with Brock.
Finally?
We've got a new addition to the At Refreshment team.
A baby.
What?
A baby.
Yes, a baby.
A baby.
Brock and Courtney. Woo! Brock and Courtney have had their first child, a little girl, born, well, I was going to say this past Monday, but by the time they see this, they won't see this.
In December. Born in December.
Born in December. That's all you
We'll
need
just
to know.
leave it at that.
Yeah.
Very cute
Congrats.
child. So
She's beautiful. She is beautiful.
we'll wait for him to
Tiny.
talk about all the fatherhood things and everything, but we just wanted to congratulate him and Courtney on, having a beautiful child.
Yep.
I'm so happy for them. I'm really ecstatic about that.
Yep.
But
Yeah, congrats, Brock.
yeah, we're what we're going to talk about is something very, very interesting.
Okay.
He looks at me.
Because you were screwing with the coin. So, anyways, Freemasons say they are needed now more than ever. Is that true? Well, whether you believe it or not, there's an article out there.
We will link all these articles in the description.
Yes. This one I found on NPR Web Chicago. Freemasons say they are needed now more than ever. So why are their ranks dwindling? This was written, or published, I should say, November 28th, 2020 by Christiana Sleva, I believe is how you pronounce it. It was an interesting article because, a lot of this stuff is what I hear guys talk about. We're such a great fraternity. We have so many things to offer in so many aspects of life, and yet our numbers are dwindling. But me as a Freemason, I do believe this, that we are needed now more than ever.
See, now,
But,
hold on.
but why is the question.
Wait, quick question. Okay, is this Freemasonry across the nation, across the globe, or here in Illinois?
No, this is across... the way the article presents it, it's around the nation, but I'm sure it's also around the globe as well.
Okay.
I've heard of things across the pond over in England that their numbers are dwindling as well.
Are they?
So it's not just here in the States. It's
Well, last I checked, last Grand Lodge we had, we were in an upswing.
just because we're an upswing as a state overall
doesn't mean That's
Yeah,
why I
mean-
want to know is this overall or what it was. But honestly, man, we right now we are needed more than ever.
Here, let's put it this way. They reference this. In recent years, membership has dropped roughly 75% from a high of more than 4.1 million in 1959, when about 4.5% of all American men were members.
Well, they didn't have Facebook. And
Yeah,
YouTube.
they didn't have
But
this.
you're right.
they didn't
Facebook,
have-
all that
they-
takes
well,
our
they-
time
they,
away
they,
from
they
it.
didn't, you know.
Heck, we even
back,
see the
back
brothers
in the
messing
day.
around
Back
with
in
it
the
live.
day, masonry was the thing to do.
Yeah.
It was the thing to go to. It was your. What am I doing once a week? You know. Oh wait, I can join
But
this.
why
and this.
is
I
it-
can do it 3 times a week.
But why is it needed? Yes, you can do it, but you can do anything. But why is it needed? Why is it needed now more than ever?
You know what?
We've
Honestly-
all been through the degrees, and I can see the wheels turning in everyone's head. But really, why is it? What is it about Freemasonry that tells you to tell everyone else that we are needed?
You know what? I'm gonna find what I want to talk because I read
That's
this.
fine.
So
I'll jump in here, kind of like it's a little segue, but I mean, like it kind of goes with your question on this Reddit post that I found is men need deeper friendships, you know.
Yes.
And so this was kind of going on the fact that, you know, during pre-COVID times and all that stuff, you know, us guys, whenever we go out, we'd go to the bars. We'd watch the football game together. We'd play softball together, and then go to the bars afterwards, or and all that stuff. So I mean, like, the reason why it's needed is just because we need a way to really bond with each other, you know, and the fact that it's like, you know, like, whatever you want to admit, like the way we bond with our female friends or even our wives or girlfriends is totally different from when we all hang out and stuff together.
The way we joke around,
men need to hang out with other men. Okay,
Let's face it. I'm sure you're gonna bleep this out, but as guys, we're like, "Hey, how you doing, you fucking sorry son of a bitch?" You know, we talk like that to get, you know, camaraderie, to loosen each other up.
Yes.
You know, if a guy says
Look
that
at-
to
you
another
can't-
guy,
look at- you
it means
talk-
he likes you.
Yes.
If he doesn't say shit to you,
Yeah. No, chances are, look at we
yeah,
bust
he's a
each
great
other-
guy. He never talks to me.
We chop each other down at the knees, man.
Yes, we
All right,
do.
we bust each other's chops.
Yes, we do.
That's what we do.
Well-
okay, I talk to you guys. You know, my guy friends, my brothers. I talk to you in a way that I would never talk to my female friends. Okay.
No,
there
yeah.
is no way. There is no way in hell I would even attempt that. You know what I'm saying?
Go
Like,
out on the
it's
first date. How you doing? You sorry? What's
Yeah.
going on?
no, not even like
But no, I mean,
dating,
but guys,
dating a
you
female,
can do
but like
that,
just
yeah.
a friend.
Right.
You know, just a female
colleague.
friend, a colleague, an acquaintance. You know, there's no way that I would chop her at the knees like I chop you or you.
No,
or you.
no,
You know, there's no, it would not happen.
No, not
but
at all.
but no, like we as males we need to hang out with other males. Okay, and that's why, you know, look, I know like a lot of people, you know, I don't want to touch too much on it, but you know, when, you know, because part of this article is like, well, the reason why they're failing is because they don't let females in. No, that's not the reason why.
Okay, but
it's
the back part of the article is more positive.
I think so too.
And stuff,
but what I'm trying to get at though is that the reason why it's a fraternity is because it's a fraternity. I mean, fraternal order is guys. It's guys getting together, breaking bread. It's guys getting together and having that camaraderie, and it's men being men. Okay, and in this day and time, let's face it, being a man, being masculine is a freaking no-no now. All of a sudden, you know?
Well, let me break in here, Yoshi.
All right, please.
So, Freemasonry gives us. Sorry, Wes. Freemasonry gives us that male camaraderie.
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 Yeah, I can't say it.
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie. But you know, you're from one walk of life, and I'm from another.
Exactly.
And Freemasonry brings us on that level.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that's what's truly important, because, you know, you may believe something, I believe something, but, you know, maybe we can find some common ground here.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the point you're trying to get at.
No, it is. But we have talked about this. We have touched on this before about one of my favorite things about being a Freemason is getting together with other brothers who are from other walks of life and learning and understanding where they come from. You know, like teaching me about their culture, their way of life, their thinking, you know,
Which you
for
would
us to talk.
not get any other way.
No, you wouldn't. No, I mean, I've broken bread and sat and talked and drank with brothers that in any other, day, any other, whatever, there's no way I'd sit with them and talk to them. But with this, with being a Freemason, with being, brothers, I'm able to connect with them and get that feedback, that knowledge from them of where they're from.
Okay. Well, this article talks about a couple different things. Here's one thing I'll quote from it. Within the organization's ranks, some members hope the coronavirus pandemic might offer an opportunity to shed its reputation for mystery and secrecy, and instead showcase the charitable work that Masons perform in communities nationwide. But that hasn't been the case. Instead, the virus continues to sweep the nation, keeping men away from their lodges and making it even more difficult to induct new members. Something some say is too steep in tradition to attempt over Zoom. I don't know. Really? I don't know really how we combat the loss of members. If I had the answer to that, we would have solved the problem years ago, said Christopher Hodap, who is a historian and Masonic
I think there's one of
author.
these books on here that's by Chris Hodap. Nope.
No, it's not that one.
That's
it's the other
Brent
one.
Morris.
That's Brent Morris, yes. But Christopher Hodap, if you're a Mason, you've seen him talking this and that, but he's right. Or am I wrong in saying that he's right?
I mean, if we're going to try to go back to like the 1940s numbers,
We're not going to get back there.
we're not going to get back to that.
Well,
Can we?
Masonry was
Yes,
probably
we
a whole
can.
Another deal back then.
We can get back to those numbers. We just have not adapted to the nuances of life, I guess to say.
It's I think it's just a bunch of factors, like obviously like the 1940s numbers, that's like our grandfathers, or great grandfathers. And I mean, like that was just their way of life. And then, if you think about it, after that, our grandfathers, their kids. So our parents, they were almost kind of like the counterculture. They were just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do what my dad did.
I mean, my grandpa, I believe he was initiated in 53, so probably right after the war, and
Well, the
that
war.
that was my only family member that I can trace back.
Yeah.
World
Well,
War
except
II.
we found one yesterday, but
Yes.
we won't. That's Eastern Star,
Yeah, that's
getting way
different story.
into it, but and then nobody else followed that until I did.
But here's the thing: the war introduced many men to Freemasonry. I'm not saying that we should have a world war like that to
Well, I hope not.
introduce members, but what we need is
You know what we need for Masonry?
no. What we need is a gathering like that, and that's the way I'm going to put it. 'Cause the war was a gathering, but it was a
bringing together.
So, in that aspect, yes, we got to bring people together. But how do we do that? And we've talked about Zoom.
Have a nation or a worldwide pandemic? I don't know.
and Brother Hodap mentioned, Zoom. Are we really that steeped in our tradition that we can't say, all right, let's introduce something wildly new to make this fun, new, interesting, and introduce new members?
But I mean, like if we introduce something, but at what cost? Like what's the long-term and short-term gain from this? Like, yeah, like let's say we introduce, like,
right.
let's introduce this widget here that will, like, bring in men to Masonry and raise it like 10% or whatever. But what's the long-term cost of that? Like, are we cheapening our fraternity because of this widget?
I'm going to say the quote wrong, but it's with every new invention, what are the consequences of it?
Yeah.
Well,
there's
there
a curse
are,
that
and
comes with any new thing
Yeah.
that's brought to life. Like, simple as this, I was watching a documentary. The like button. We all know the like button on Facebook. And the reason for the like button is because, oh, hey, I like it, it was great. And it's simple as that. But the depth of psychology that goes into that like button.
Yes.
So you've cursed the nation without even realizing it. And it's just freaking crazy. So you're right with Zoom.
Yeah.
We
get the
introduce all
ball
this. We're not
rolling.
thinking,
You can't
and you're
stop
right,
it.
I'm not thinking of the bad stuff, but then again, what do we do to come into the future as Freemasons? What do we do to bring Freemasonry into the 21st century for everyone now? How do we do that?
You know, maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just.
If you don't have the answer,
No, I'm just saying, maybe I'm
It's
just
okay,
old school.
but-
But you know, the main draw for me to become a Freemason was the traditions.
Yes.
Was the old school way. I mean, the you know, for lack of better words, you know, I don't want to say I get a kick out of it. It to know that everything that I've gone through, everything I've done, brothers have gone through and have done before me.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And brothers before me did not have Zoom.
That,
You know? Okay, they
Yeah.
didn't have it. You know,
but they also didn't have the technology that we are facing today, which takes us away from everything and is designed to take us away from it.
Well, then shouldn't we be worried about that fact? It is designed to take us away from it.
Yeah.
So how do we combat that? How do we bring
Embrace it in a
Freemasonry?
positive manner. Embrace it in a positive manner. Okay, like so. Let's take Facebook for example. I can say a lot of bad things about Facebook. You know,
But there's also so many.
But
good
there's
things.
only so many good things as well too.
Yeah.
You know, for me, personally, it's like I really rarely post on my profile, and if I do, it's obviously all just positive stuff because there is too much negativity in the world.
dude, I regret having a Facebook. If it wasn't for the fact that just to keep in touch with brothers and what's
It is.
going
And
on.
that's
It's
and
become
that's
the
how it
new
is.
email.
Yeah,
You know?
it's
And that's how it is. I mean,
You don't
like
have a Facebook?
I do.
What?
Oh yeah, when you tell somebody that,
Yeah.
Like for years I've been like, wait a minute, you know, for years I've been like, people have been like, hey, what's your Facebook? I don't have Facebook.
yeah.
What?
Like what?
Oh,
like they
Brock
look at you
Still.
like you got, like they look at you like you had
Remember
COVID.
when we first started, Brock, you got Facebook? No, I don't have Facebook. We're like, well,
Yeah.
Well, how do
wrong
you
with
put
you?
your pictures?
But I mean, like for example, for the grotto, you know, I mean, there's prophets and their ladies from all over the country. And whenever you go to Supremes, you know, you're going up there and you're like, like, oh hey, like what's going on? Like, oh my gosh, Mark, nice to see you in person. I'm like, okay, how do I know you? Like, you kind of go into your mental Rolodex.
You got to go through the Rolodex.
You know, so I mean, like, so as much bad as like we'll put to Facebook, there's a lot of good to it, and we need to embrace the good.
Yeah. No, that's what I try to do. That's why I try never to put anything political or whatever. I try to post pictures of what I'm doing with my family, with what I'm doing with you guys, and then all these other weirdos out there
Happy
they just
stuff.
want to spew all this nonsense, and get other people riled up, and
us as a show, we are somewhat nonsense. We're the fun. We're the fun part of it. Lay back, relax. Just
There is
have
no
a
fun
good
we're
time.
entertainment. That's what we're trying to do is entertain. That's what we're doing.
Right.
Entertain and educate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what
what
that's what our attempt to do with this show is. And a lot of people that use Facebook are not doing either.
Right. But now we realize that, I don't know, are we, I guess I never mind. I just lost where I'm going with it.
I'm sorry. Did I
That's all
fuck
right.
you up?
Yeah, it's all right. That and the alcohol.
But I mean, like to go back to this,
All right.
article, like of deeper friendships and all that stuff. Like if you want a good prime example, this is it right here. Like
Yeah.
even without the cameras, I would like remember when we went to Milwaukee and we had like the greatest conversations just because it's just all of us together.
Well, let's put it this way. Since you guys are the new guys on the show, do you guys feel a lot more connected to the show in a few months that you've been together? Because we've tried everything to make you guys feel comfortable and welcome.
I mean, I've been watching the show since you guys started, and I've you and I have been pretty good friends through the years since you came into Raven, and I mean, I guess I've always felt kind of connected to the show. Now I just get to voice my opinion.
So with that, friendships, we have something together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on in, hey.
Yeah. And that's the way it should. It really should be. I mean, that's.
But is that the only thing we're needed for? Is just
No.
friendships?
You know what? I mean, I don't want to say only thing, but it's a good thing.
It's a lot of
It's
things.
it's a big thing. Okay. I mean, if you
not to diminish
like-
it.
No. I'm not trying to say. All I'm saying is that without the friendships, without the bonds that we make
What is
in
there?
our fraternity, if we don't have that, then what are we doing?
Yeah, because yeah.
I mean, so here's the thing. So earlier this year we had our our COVID lockdown type of a thing, and the Grand Lodge was basically we're shutting down, or whatever. This was May, I want to say, and so it was my first time probably seeing potential brothers in 2 months or whatever, because we locked down basically almost after St. Patrick's Day, and it was one of the prophet's kids who graduated from 8th grade needed a graduation parade, and this was literally my first time seeing any brother since that whole lockdown, and I was such happy as a kid because I remember pulling up to the parking lot. I was driving. Amanda was in the passenger seat. She was basically next time you go out, make sure you put the car in park before you leave, because I almost just got out of the car and ran to my brothers.
Yeah. No, I remember that. I
great.
remember getting to that parking lot and seeing everybody
It lifted my spirits.
Oh my God, did it? Yeah, that was so awesome.
It lifted my
That was such an
spirits.
awesome experience.
Yeah, when the first lockdown happened, what do I do with myself?
Where's the toilet
Oh
paper?
my God! I just need an author with a Bible. What the heck? What do I do? So
Look at man.
when it was gone, I really need it. We're gonna have to take a break, so hold on to that. All right, everyone. With that, we need to take a break, and we'll be back. And we're back. We were discussing Masons say they are needed now more than ever. And once again, I believe that is the case. I'm going to read something out of an article from Masonic Vibe. How Freemasonry makes men and society better. We are trained to look at the best in men at the altar of obligation. We are to look for their strong point and cast aside the unfavorable negative traits, attempting to see the best in our brethren, to hear their words and see them in a most positive light, to cast the best light in their action in most charitable light. We were also taught to possess goodwill, benevolent love, and be lenient to judge others. And I think that's really important. I can't even talk today. It's really important because nowadays or at least what the TV shows, is that you're supposed to be judging others on every little thing that they do wrong.
that's what's
We're
going
in
on
a
right now.
cancel
culture. Yeah,
It's culture.
it's a
society
very
now.
big thing
It's-
now. And you know what? And the sad part is a lot of brothers are a part of it. And that's what when we're talking about, is Masonry needed more than ever?
You're right.
It is. A lot of brothers need to remember what our obligations were, what our
Right now, society is.
lectures. There we go. Like what our lectures were. Because I wanted to touch base on something real quick.
The weight of the obligation.
Exactly.
Right now, society is so gung-ho, cancel everything, that we forget that sometimes you can learn a thing or two if you look over to your enemy's camp. And I'm not saying anything the Nazis did was good, but what we did here in America, we took their scientists. So we looked for the good in certain things that certain people were doing bad. The scientists were all against certain things that the Nazis did. So we
Look, man, during that time, man, if you didn't
But
if
the
you didn't
thing
do what you
is
had to
that
do, you
look
died.
for the good. What can advance society? Okay, so when we took their scientists, we saw the best in that we can use for good. Because let's face it, there are things that are just flat out evil, and you're like, well, hell, if he would have did that for good, things would have been better.
Oh, dude, if that piece of trash would have used his gift of gab for good, oh my God. That man, he knew how to work a crowd.
So we take the best of
All
men.
the best politicians.
We take
too.
the best of men.
That's true.
The most
They would just
positive
do
light.
good. Just do good. Do good. Do good.
today's world, I don't know. It's really crazy. I get really disappointed with how. It'd be nice if this was on.
I was trying to figure out a way to like.
Do you want to start over?
No.
No, keep going.
Well, anyway, sir. But I think that
Maybe
Freemasonry.
guys could remember to put their mic.
Look at me.
Am I really paying for your drinks after that?
Look
Jeez.
at, Freemasonry is about what we're doing right now. We're having discussions. We're talking and we're sitting here and being civil with each other. We have different opinions, but we're listening to each other what we have to say. Okay? And somewhere down the line with this whole cancer culture, if and extremists. Everything is an extreme. It's either you're here or you're there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's no nuance.
There's
we need
no.
We need
and that's
no
what
middle.
this is.
There's no level.
There you go. And this is what it's supposed to be about: is men of different backgrounds, different cultures, different beliefs coming together and discussing. And a lot of brothers have forgotten that. Okay, a lot of brothers have forgotten that. And what I wanted to read real quick, is again, I always keep saying this is a lot of brothers need to go back and reread their obligations and reread their lectures.
Yeah.
We do. We really do.
And this is one thing I wanted to read. Just a little snippet. Laying aside all resentments and prejudices towards each other. Okay, that's a powerful little sentence right there. Okay, and you know what, guys? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I with the environment that everything is in the world right now, we are needed more than ever. And what is needed more than ever is to remember that. That's what we're here for, is to bridge that gap between all of us that have different beliefs, have different, views. We're supposed to come together and be able to talk to each other civilly and work through it, not go on this freaking phone or your computer onto some social media app
keyboard
and
well, actually,
yeah,
It's really easy to forget your obligation when you're talking through a keyboard.
That son of a bitch! I'm gonna get him.
It is. Yeah. I can't tell you. There are so many guys, that I see them, and how they are, and I'm like, and I meet them in person. I'm like, how are you that same guy? How the hell is that? What happened?
Well, there is a part in that article that I did read that talks about even if you can't talk to a brother like that, you should still, it goes into expulsion and stuff like that. That you should still pray for him, whatever your thing is, but respect him on his way out and hope for his betterment.
Look, dude,
But what is it about? Oh, sorry about that. What is it about Freemasonry that makes us feel that we are needed now? Okay, we've said a couple things.
Because I think we've been here, or our brotherhood has been here for hundreds of years. Mm-hmm. It's like a lot of things change, a lot has stayed the same, and the fact that we're still here after 300 years of change, and there's a lot of change in the past 300 years.
No, there's been
from the
of
1700s.
There's been a lot of change.
We're still the same. We could still say the fact that hey, I'm the same brother, or quote unquote, we are the same fraternity that inducted George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Mozart, Voltaire.
Yes.
Mark Twain.
Yeah. All these politicians and writers and thinkers and all that stuff. We're the same. So I think that's why they're looking towards us, is because we are almost if you want to say, the cornerstone of society.
Well, we've influenced many of people. Oscar Wilde, H.G. Wells.
Yeah.
There's people in music.
Yeah.
You said Mozart.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the country
movies,
guy that's
TV,
Freemason Shriner?
Oh,
I'm not
yeah,
into country music, so
Brad Paisley.
Brad Paisley, thank you. So we
Colonel
touch
Sanders,
so
Dave
many
Thomas.
people in so
throw
many
those two out
different
there.
aspects of life that if you see something out of it, I see Tim McGraw or no Paisley, Brad Paisley, see something different, but we're all different people. We all come from different walks of life. We're all getting something out of it.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something there for the regular guy to get something out of. And that's important. What if he's going to get out of it? That's up to him.
It is.
It is up
But
to
it's
him.
up to us to present that
exactly.
to him
You
that
gotta,
he has
they
that
gotta
opportunity.
Come. You know, you gotta, like, you know, I understand what they're trying to say is like, you know, like what are we gonna do to draw these men in? Look, men need to come to us, you know, and figure it out. Like,
But sometimes
you know,
guys don't know how to ask. I know we say to be one,
ask one.
To be one, ask one, yeah.
So nowadays, guys don't really open their mouths. Well, I didn't know if I should ask, and you know, it's a completely different story than it was. And I'm assuming, you know, more friendly back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s than it is today.
You know what? Every generation has that lighter hand. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, actually I do.
You know, like it. You know, when you go, like I always hear like the old schoolers, man. It's like, man, you know, I wish we had this when I was going through it. I wish we had this when I was going. Or you know, like the classic quote. Back in my day, you know, we didn't have this. We did, yeah, you know, and you know, wow. I'm sorry, brain fart, guys. I was going somewhere with this, and I just freaking lost it.
It's all right.
No, I feel dumb now. It's stupid. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is
No, I won't say it for you.
no, it's fine. You can say it. You can't.
Well, you look dumb, so.
No, you know what? I'll let that one slide, man. It's like I can't believe I was. Oh, man, it was going to be good too.
It's all right.
Oh man, that's terrible. It's so terrible.
That's okay, Yoshi.
But there's something.
I'm still looking for the article that I was referring to, and I can't find it.
Was it one I didn't send you?
No,
That
you
read
did send it
something
to
else?
me, and I actually read it.
Was it this one?
and I just can't find it. I wanted to refer back to where I was going, and I went to my phone.
That's right.
Man, we're just brain farting away here, man.
Yeah,
Oh my
I guess
It's
so.
been
Yeah.
it's been
Terrible,
one of those
terrible.
days.
They
It
just
has
they,
been one of those
they
days.
just put it so well in the article that you sent me, Wes, and I thought it was pretty important to share. And now I can't find it.
Well, it wasn't so important that you remembered it.
I did remember it, but I would like to quote it
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
correctly.
Yeah.
So
So I think along the lines of like, you know, like to be one, ask one and all that stuff, you know, I think kind of like on the lines of like almost like Masonic etiquette or whatever, but, you know, like when we talked when we were up to Milwaukee was, you know, you got to check your ego at the door as well too. You know, especially online, on Facebook and all that stuff. Because, I mean, I've seen a lot of brothers who just spew just a lot of stuff.
Dude,
I'm like,
so much venom. So much venom.
and here's the thing. We see it.
Oh, you don't know what I know, and
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it's like we see it, but like the fact of the matter is, it's like you're putting it on Facebook, and you know the public's going to see it, and they're going to say like, oh, you know, like he's a Mason.
Exactly.
You know, and I'm not saying you got to be 100% pious, never drink alcohol or whatever.
But that also comes with,
you know, but the fact is, like, you know, you gotta like almost kind of like hold yourself to a higher standard because not only you're representing yourself, you're representing the fraternity.
If you have it on your social media that you are a Freemason, if you are walking around with
that,
the regalia, you know,
I'm a Freemason circle thing on the.
You know, like you walk around with the rings, the pins, a shirt. You are representing our order.
The craft.
You are representing the craft. And when certain people, I'm not going to say names, but there are certain people, you know, certain brothers, man, they're on their social media spewing all this venom. If I was an outsider looking at that, I'm like, why would I want to join an organization that this gentleman belongs to?
Yeah, no,
you know, that this guy is belittling, talking down to, like, you know, doing whatever he can to a fellow brother, to someone who's supposed to be his brother. Why am I going to go be a part of that? You know, and you know what, guys? I mean, seriously, when you guys post what you post, like, think about what you're saying, man. I mean, think about who you're talking to. You know, these are your brothers.
Yeah.
And you feel that you need to, like, spew that venom at them? Like, again, man, I think you really need to reread your obligation. I think you need to read some lectures. I really do.
Well, I found the article. And
Please, I want to hear
if
this.
I may share.
Okay.
Wes sent me some things to read and go over, and I think this
I'm going to wait till after.
struck the most
till we
with
get
me.
closer
This
to the
isn't-
end.
This isn't it.
Okay.
So, I'll just read this here. There are brothers we meet who may be weak or ignorant or perhaps ugly of spirit, who are driven by blind forces. We can bring these people back to beauty, intelligence, and strength. If our erring brothers must be expelled or censored, we should treat them with compassion, with pain, with prayer, and with empathy. Our hearts should be inharmonious for their recovery. And I just thought that meant something. You know, there are brothers that have a hard time, remembering their obligation. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, they're brothers.
Because when passion and insight flares up emotion, we're all guilty of it. We just kind of forget some things.
Yeah.
And some of us, when we're going on our rant, may remember our obligation here and there, or things that we said how we'd be. And then some people just don't remember until afterwards. And then there's some people that don't care.
That don't care. Yeah.
But that also goes with what I call, or what I say, we don't teach in Freemasonry how to set your compass, the radius of your compass.
Yeah.
No.
We always talk about be on the level, the plumb, all of it.
Circumscribe within due bounds.
But we don't ever talk about how to set that radius with the compass, because every individual is different. Your morality is different than mine, vice versa.
Wait, you have morals? I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
you do. Come
You're
on
right.
now.
You're right. You talk to brothers. There's so many different views on sports, politics, just
Religion. What
just
do you
the
put
simple
on-
thing of how to fix your house up.
What you put on your hot dog? If you put ketchup, you're dead to me.
Exactly.
You're dead
So-
to me.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that.
There's so many things to be judgmental on.
Yeah.
And we don't ever talk about setting that compass and how to combat those things, or how to live your life within that compass. We always just talk about the level and all that stuff. So,
But I think it goes back to where we need our friendships here, because it helps us set our compass within myself and others. You know, like
Right.
so, like if our interactions here, I could know my compass and just like kind of like know, I wouldn't say our boundaries, but more of just like like we will get our nuances. As you said, like with sports, politics, religion, like all these big things. Like we will live with each other because of our differences, not hate each other.
right.
so-
I mean, geez, the Cubs and Sox fans have been living in somewhat harmony. Well, we live in harmony when Bears season comes around.
Yeah, now you're a Packers fan. Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, the Chicagoland Pack. I don't understand Chicagoland Packers fans.
I saw
Did
one.
I open up another can of worms?
They were
It's all right.
they were a
think you
fan.
did.
They were a fan
Let's-
of the
let's
Cardinals
stick
and the
to it.
Packers.
See, the Cardinals I kind of understand, but Cardinals were actually they were a one time here, so.
Yeah, back in like the
I know, but still, some people hold strong to it. Some
whatever.
people do, man. I'm just saying, some people do.
Back to it.
But I didn't finish this book, but I did read it. Bowling Alone by Robert D. Putnam. This talks about the collapse and revival of the American community. Bowling leagues have dwindled. Freemasonry has dwindled. The Oddfellows have dwindled. All these little
Blues,
community
elk,
things
Well, didn't you
dwindled
guys-
down
didn't-
in America. And this
But
book talks
before
about it.
I-
I suggest really checking it out if you want the numbers and the way of American thinking from then till now, why people aren't joining
Well,
fraternities.
before I came onto the show, I remember watching, I think it was either Marty, I'm pretty sure it was Marty, maybe it was you, Yoshi, talked about going into a moose lodge.
Marty.
And
Marty.
just the total, you know.
Well, at least we know he did watch the show.
Did they want him to be there?
Yeah.
Well, of course I watched the show. Did they want him to be there? And he was like, you know, yada, yada, yada. And he didn't really feel welcome. So maybe that's why those organizations failed. But Masonry, I mean, I think you can go in any Masonic lodge, even with the COVID times, and still be
Greeted.
Yeah.
respectfully
Greeted,
and
right,
nicely. And, you know, I can't speak for any of the other ones, but I go off what Marty's saying. You know, I went into the Moose Lodge and it wasn't quite that cool, so I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to do it. So
You know what? Honestly, though, to be my opinion, you know, when it comes to fraternal orders, when it comes to bowling leagues, dart leagues, you know, pool, you know, leagues, whatever have you. Honestly, I think the main downfall is what we have to entertain ourselves with now. I believe the phone, TV, video games, you know, movies. I mean, I really do, you know, and people, if you don't have it in you, look at when I get off of work, I'm tired. I just want to sit down or lay down and just watch TV and that's it. You know, I get up to go to meetings. You know, I'm like, no, I have a meeting today. I need to be there.
Gotta do it.
You know, I got to do what I got to do. You know, I joined something and I swore to I made some oaths and I'm gonna live to that. Most people, some people can't. You know, I've known people that have done it. They've come, they've joined, and then they
Disappear.
They disappear because life happens.
Well,
you know,
Yeah,
you know,
life does
they're- you
happen,
know,
yeah.
But I mean, look, I'm not trying to say. I don't want to say this, and
Just spit it out.
some people are freaking lazy.
You're right.
Some people are lazy. I'd rather just be like,
These things are cell
Instead
phones,
of going-
or tablets,
going
or
to bowling
computers
leagues.
have not helped.
yeah, no, it hasn't.
These things have
No.
made us
what
so
do you mean
isolated.
I can bowl on the Wii?
Yeah.
can
No,
bowl
dude,
on here.
When I was a kid, the bingo parlors were hopping, bowling leagues, you know, the bowling alleys,
VFW,
the pool halls, the
big-
VFW.
yes.
That's
I'm
what's
sorry, but
come down the most.
Yeah.
In my
Everybody
opinion,
used to
it's
hang
these
out at the
stupid
VFW.
things.
Now
Dude,
it's
I'm
a
it's-
thing of the past. You know.
Yeah.
Because these things have made us isolated.
I
These
know,
things are
I know.
designed to, you can just
I
sit in
know.
a corner, you can order a pizza, you can do
Just wait
anything
until
with
you
these
bring
things and
cameras
just
in the
sit there
lodge.
and you don't have to yes, you don't have to,
You know what, man?
Just
I'm not
wait
gonna
until
lie.
how
Honestly-
lazy you get until we
honestly,
bring
you don't have to
cameras in the
interact with
lodge.
anybody.
As this conversation goes on, I'm leaning towards your the way you are, you know, with the whole no cameras. It's true. Once you start on that,
Slippery slope.
Can't stop
you're
it.
just gonna go, and that's what happened. You know, we
Yeah.
kept on getting all this technology, more and more technology. You know,
it's like once you
this-
like having sex without a rubber, that's the end of it.
Where did that come from?
I had to throw
You know,
something out there.
we get these really good conversations coming in.
Yeah, I
Here
know,
comes
right? And
Wes.
then one of us has got to
train.
be a dumbass and do it. You know, but so this time it was him. But you know, it's just how
Anyway.
it goes with the show.
We can't have too much intelligence on here. We're
I
at
know, right? We are
Refreshment.
not
Jesus.
that highbrow. We're not quite
Well,
lowbrow, but we're not that highbrow. But you know,
Well,
like
we should be, and I'm following you.
no, I know. We everything is in jest. It was funny. You can't say it wasn't funny,
Oh,
right,
it
guys?
was-
That was funny. I thought it was funny. But you know, bottom line is that things like this, that's in my opinion. It's not oh, we're so set in the past. Oh, we don't let women in. You know, we don't broadcast. Hey, join. You know, or whatever. I think the main problem that our organization is in a decline, if that's what that article says, it's because there's too much stimuli out there in the world.
There is.
You know,
There
back
is.
in the
There is
day,
too much.
this was their break, guys. This was their break. You know, because back in the day, and even now in some aspects, some people have it. It's you go to work, you come home, you go to sleep, you go to work, you come home, you go to sleep, and in between there, you got to try and make time for your other half. If you got kids, you got to make time for your kids. What are they doing? What do they got going on? You got to take little Jimmy to his ball game. Does Sally need to go to her soccer game? You got all this stuff that's going on. And now you got to squeeze in your fraternal order. You got to squeeze in the bowling league. You got to squeeze in dart night with the boys, or poker night. I don't even hear people even doing that hardly anymore. Having poker nights.
Well, yeah.
Are
we gonna do
Well,
another
Yosh,
segment?
we
Do you
got-
want to do another segment, or are we gonna?
I'm fine with
I
doing
think
another
we
second,
should.
or do another 10-minute short or something.
Okay.
I think
all
we
right.
should.
Well,
I think
all
we
right,
should.
all
I
right.
think
Part
we're
three.
rolling
We'll
on
do part
something
three.
here.
All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back.
3.
And we're back. So, you need us now more than ever. Freemasonry. Well, if Freemasonry is needed now more than ever, sell me on it. Pretend I'm a member, or no, I'm a non-member, and you want me to join a fraternity. And we've been talking, Freemasonry is needed now more than ever. Sell me on it. Present it to me. Why should I join as a non-member?
Well, we as Masons shouldn't go and recruit. So that's kind of a hard statement.
So are you
There.
are you saying you
Well-
came up to us and asked, hey,
You want
I know you're a Freemason.
How,
I'm thinking about it.
we don't need Einstein statistics and
Okay.
stuff. It's just as simple as this.
Einstein was a Mason, though.
I'm a non-member.
Is he?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe so. Look
I-
it up.
I think he was. I
I'm,
believe he
I'm
was.
pretty sure.
Pretend I'm a non-Mason, and I say, hey, Freemasonry is needed now more than ever. Why? Tell me. You guys are members. Tell me why it's needed more than ever.
I think really, if anything, it's more for men and mental health. Especially in these times where it's like, COVID or whatever, and everyone's like all separated and all that stuff. Masonry brings all these men together under one common ground from different aspects of life. How many times can you actually say, like, I sat and broke bread with a millionaire next to me. Yeah. And like a celebrity, and this guy who works at Costco, or a truck driver. We no matter all of our superficial differences, we're all the same underneath.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's whatever you put in too. It's like you can't really expect to join a club and be really just sitting back and expect everything to be brought to you. You got to work for it.
Yeah, that Templar treasure isn't going to find itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Nope, it's not.
Yeah.
Every time I've ever had somebody ask me, what's about, why did you join? I'll kind of word it as I'm telling you why you should join. There is a lot of charity work that we do. Charity is always needed, no matter what time of the year, what's going on in the world. Charity is always needed. And there is, I guess it is kind of self-satisfying doing charity work, knowing that it in a little way it almost makes it I can't think of the exact word I want to use, but it's like, I don't want to say selfish, but almost selfish. It's like when I'm done doing whatever it is, whatever charity thing we're going to go do, whether it's ringing the bells for the Salvation Army, whether it's going to feed my starving children, whether it's doing some sort of outing where, bring a toy for Toys for Tots. We did one, we had a cigar smoker, and we watched the fights. And your admission for to see the fight and to get a cigar was you had to bring in a pack of socks. And we donated those socks to a local homeless shelter. Mm-hmm. If honestly, if you want to feel good, don't brag about it, but if you want to do some good, you want to use your time doing something that helps the world, come be a Freemason.
Tyler?
Well, I'll stand true on the I'll never recruit, but if somebody asks me why do you want to be a Freemason, because I really do feel that those moral tools that Freemasonry gives you, they do help you do what these two are talking about. They do help you with the charity, but it's so much more than us as Masons. We'll never come to you and say, hey, I want you to join a lodge right now. You seem like
Well, you can do that. There's
Well, I in my mind, I always feel that Masonry starts in your inner self, and if you truly want to be it, you'll ask it.
Yeah.
And if anybody's pressuring you to do that, it may not be the right thing for you. Like you have to want to do that. You have to want to be a better person and a better person for your community, and I just don't think you can get that with somebody. I don't want to say pressuring you, but saying, hey man, come join this, because then you're confused. Like I think you
gotta want to do it.
You
if
should
you want to do
internally be asking that question, like, man, I kind of want to do this, and like when I came into the fraternity, my grandpa passed away. And I got his ring. And I didn't know a thing about Masonry. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know anything about it. And I start looking it up. And I found the local lodge, and then I came in there, and unlike Marty's story, where they didn't welcome me in, and they welcomed me in with open arms, and here I am, 5 years member, Raven Strong. And I think that's what it should be about. So as far as what I would tell somebody that wants to join the fraternity, I think, not to sound harsh, but I think you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
what I think is the best thing about the fraternity is the extending of the hand, because that is the best thing you can do to anybody, whether they're angry, indifferent, sad, confused. You can extend that hand, and Freemasonry teaches you that you have a brother out there that is willing to extend their hand to help you out. We're not just talking financially. We're talking mentally, in the heart.
That's what it's about.
Teaching you how to be a brother. Brother, oh, I love you, man. Come here, bring it in. We all do that.
The working
that
goals to be a
is the
better
greatest
person.
thing, and I think society and as men, we tend to brush that off because we're so macho, or I can do this on my own. We forget about the extending hand from the other guy that makes you a better man just by extending that hand.
And here, so I got an example for that, and it does run deep. I used to live in Iowa, and I was moving back, and I had my U-Haul all packed up and all that stuff, and obviously I needed help unloading the truck. I called one of my friends, known him since 7th grade or whatever, not a Mason, but just called one of my friends. I'm like, hey, I'm coming in, I'll be here at 7 p.m. or whatever. Can you help me unload? Well, you didn't help me load, and blah blah blah. Bringing all this past stuff. I'm like, bro, I just need a favor, but it's fine. Don't worry about it.
You didn't help me. Why should I help you?
Basically, whereas I called my brother, and basically, he, truck driver guy. If you ever meet him, he's a truck driver guy, very just rough around the edges, but deep down has a good heart. And he's just basically all right, what time do you need me? That's it. Not oh, what are you going to do for me type of a thing. It was more of extending a hand.
Yeah,
that's
it.
And that has run deep. And it's and it impressed on me to the fact that I want to do that whenever I can, to the best of my ability.
Right. It's
That's
here's
also
my
in
hand.
your
Yeah. I need a helping hand. Well, now here's the other hand. Okay. I'm there for you.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that every brother is going to answer the call, because sometimes
No,
They
some,
they're not
can't.
able
no,
to.
some
But
can't.
you have other brothers
Yeah.
to extend that arm out to extend that call out to.
You know, I want to touch real quick a little funny story. You know, you're saying you're all like, bring it in, brother. You know what's funny?
We say that a lot.
No,
Us
we
as a
do.
group.
It's
we
us as a
say
group.
that a lot.
But you want to know what's funny about it is I have actually, me and Marty especially, have actually broken a few brothers that we have at our lodge that like we're like taken aback, like we're huggers. Like you're my boy, you're my brother, and we embrace each other. And they're all like, why am I being hugged right now? Like what? And but that's an old school thing. Guys didn't show that affection to each other back in the day. Like you didn't have it like that. It was a good, steady, sturdy, just handshake. And like I don't know if it's my generation or the generations that followed. It's when we do it, we come in. We're, what's going on, bro? How you been?
Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra, yeah. You put a little spin on it. But
Brothers don't shake hands.
Brothers.
Well, now especially in the social distancing time.
Well, yeah. Now it's like oh my
Now
god.
we're like 6 foot fist pump.
But what I'm trying to get at.
Be well.
Be well. But what I'm trying to get at about that is that there are some guys that are willing to like break down that wall. That they're like, okay, a hug, all right, cool. And now it's like I don't want to say look forward to it. I don't want to get weird about it, but it's
No.
Now it's like they feel it. They feel it's acceptable. That it's not that
because you got to get them
embraced
used to it. It's something new that you got to get them used to.
Yeah.
Everybody has these barriers that unfortunately need to be broken down.
Yeah.
And that kind of aspect, like, well, what's this? Guys are hugging. There's
Not even unfortunately, but just.
Well, it is unfortunate that guys think that a hug is like something weird or odd. I mean, it really is, because it doesn't mean anything. It's an embrace. And there's other cultures that, heck, where the guys kiss each other on
that's
each cheek.
the American
It's just an embrace.
masculinity bullshit.
Yes, it's just an embrace.
No, there's different. What's the word I'm looking for? There's different customs in different cultures.
Yeah.
And and like there are customs from other cultures that here in the States, man, like other guys, they look at it, be like, that's weird. What the hell they're doing? And it's like, dude, it's the way that's their culture. It's the way it is. It's like they, like it's weird if you make it weird.
Isn't it always?
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I can make this whole episode weird right now, but I won't.
Please don't. Please don't.
I mean, it's bad enough my mic wasn't on. I got to get used to the lapel pin now, so.
It picked.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to leave you with this from Masonic Vibe in their article, How Freemasonry Makes Men and Society Better. This is at the end of the article.
Okay.
We have been able to learn the 5 points of fellowship as Master Masons. Therefore, these lessons must be before most in our mind. This is how Masons make good men better. I can't really argue with that, but you have to find out what the 5 points of fellowship are and be a Master Mason to figure that out.
Yep.
But with that comes our favorite time at the end of the show. Shout out and shouts out.
Shouts out.
And this one is go out to a couple different people.
Okay.
But go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you know what? We began with it, and I think we should end with it. To Brock and Courtney.
To Brock and Courtney.
And their new...
to the daughter.
George.
Yep.
Oh, baby.
The little baby.
To Brock Courtney and for Marty sticking hard in the hospital. Wish you the best recovery, brother.
Wow.
Always nice. Always a pleasure to do that. Well, what that brings us to the end of our show. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, We're on Buzzsprout, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, all that fun
All
stuff.
the good ones.
Yeah, all the good ones.
Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Yep.
Oh, and we're now on Pandora too. So
What?
yeah, I pulled some strings and got us on Pandora. So with that, that's the end of the show, everyone. Thank you for watching and join us for more.